Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at a Beckhoff CX7000 PLC that we so kindly received from Jesse Hill and our friends at Beckhoff. They collaborated with my colleague Nikki, and none of this would be possible without them, so thank you very much. So I'm just going to start, we'll just unbox our CX7000. Very interestingly packaged, and it's a lot smaller than I had suspected. But for contrast, actually, it's like for scale, I guess you can see this is our headless HMI with optional code assist, and then this is the CX7000, which has well, obviously Beckhoff's IDE is used to program this, and built-in I/O. So it's pretty sweet. It's really actually a really interesting size. What I do like about this on the side here is the wiring diagram. That's a really cool feature. I don't talk too much about third-party products, but this is really handy because you don't have to go looking anywhere for the information you need to actually set up the unit. We'll probably still need the manual, but I think we can get by without the manual this time. So let's go ahead and power this thing up and see what we can do. All right. Oh, that's super secure. Nice. So let's get it powered on here. I'm going to move this box out of the way. And we've got some lights. Perfect. So just to start off, we're going to do a simple project in, I think it's called TwinCAT XAE shell. And make sure that we can get connected to our controller, download our project, and then connect an HMI. So I'll get started here. I already have TwinCAT XAE shell open, so we'll go to, well, first let's double click on system and then choose our target. So we want to actually find our controller. I have actually connected to this before, but right now I don't have any cables connected, so I actually need an Ethernet cable. Perfect. All right. Okay, so I can see, we can actually see our device right now. Click OK. So the first step is we're going to choose our target, find our controller. We've already done that. We can reach our controller. If you're familiar with TwinCAT, you probably already know the process of going to choose the target and finding the controller, so I'm not going to talk about that too much. However, the next step that we're going to do is actually add the route for our HMI. So we need to know the HMI's IP, and the HMI doesn't have an Ethernet cable in it either, so I have to get an Ethernet cable in that unit as well. Then once we do, I'll grab the IP. And after we have the route, or the IP address, we can define the route for our HMI within the system routes right here. So we'll go to project routes, and we will add our HMI route in here. This is probably not going to be the correct HMI. This is probably not the correct HMI. It's probably something from separate testing. So we'll go to project routes, and we actually need to find our unit. So to do so, I'm going to create a project for a CMT2058XH. That's what I'm using right here. And I will do just a quick test using our reboot utility to try and see if we can find the IP. We found the IP, and now I can use that within TwinCAT. So we'll go back into TwinCAT, go to Project Routes, Add, and I'm going to call this our HMI. Actually, I'll be more specific. We'll call this the CMT2058XH. This is our 4.3-inch CMTX product. And the AMS net ID is going to be the IP of the unit. The IP of the unit plus .1.1. And then we need just the IP address here, which is going to be 192.168.0.130. And I think everything else we can leave the same, so I'll just click Add Route, and we'll click OK. And it's going to ask us to activate it immediately or give us some other system prompts. Just clicked OK. We're going to close this menu out now. We'll see it in the project route, in the current routes. I can also see it here too. So our route has now been successfully added. Now we have a new project, so we actually need to create a project on this, a PLC project for this project file. So we'll go to PLC, right click, and I believe we're going to add a new item, standard PLC project. I'm going to call this project. Yep, just like that. I'll click Add. So we're creating our first PLC project. We'll add just some very simple data types in here, just some things that we can easily pull just to demonstrate communication. All right. Now I'll expand our project instance here, and we'll go to our POU, and let's add in the var section. Let's add a num. We'll assign this to an int. I'll call this xbit. And this will be a bool. And we will do sname, and this will be a string. There we go. And we'll just quickly define these, or we'll quickly define or assign them, I should say, to some literal values. So we'll say num is equal to 5. We'll say xbit is equal to true. And we'll say sname, I misspelled that one, sname is equal to, hello, this is Weintek, just like that. And with that done, we need to, for ease of tag import, we'll want to generate a TPY file. So the easiest way that we can do that, I believe, is to double click our PLC project, go to settings, check TMC and TPY. And so then when we generate, or when we build the project file, it should also generate a TPY file as well. So we'll go ahead and build our project file right now. We'll just click build solution. You see it compiling here. And yeah, I mean, our project was so simple, we didn't really have any errors or any possible errors we could have run into. So now at this point, I'll make sure that we click Activate Configuration. Since we've already added the route, I think it might also prompt us to set the PLC in run mode. So we'll just go ahead and restart it in run mode. And when that loads, I'll log in just to verify that our application's running. So click login, and we're logged in. If I go to main, yes, our application's running. So now we're ready to kind of move on into the EBPro world. So let's jump over to EBPro. So I created a new project for a CMT2058X earlier just to find the IP, because right now it's getting an IP address via DHCP. However, we still need to actually add the device driver for our CX7000. And with most Beckhoff devices, we're going to end up using our Beckhoff TwinCAT. Let's just look at the driver name. It's kind of a mouthful. The Beckhoff TwinCAT PLC free tag names Ethernet driver. This is the driver that we're going to use for most Beckhoff PLCs. What models, you may ask? Well, if we head over to our forum and click on PLC drivers, we can look at the connection guide for this specific driver. So we'll go ahead and click download here. We can see that the supported series is listed at the top. You'll notice CX7000 isn't listed explicitly. And that's because these are the models in the series that basically our factory has validated this driver with for the most part. So does not necessarily mean that other Beckhoff devices won't also share the same protocol and be compatible with this driver as well. This has tons of good information in there. It's also where you will learn how to import and import tags from your Beckhoff device. So let's jump back into EBPro. We'll add our driver. We will add the, we'll add the IP, which is 192.168.0.17. Let's actually log out and go scan for our device within the System tab. Search. And if we just do a broadcast search here, should find it. So here's the IP address, 192.168.0.117. That's the IP of our controller. When you pull it out of the box, it's already set to retrieve an IP address via DHCP. So that's what happened here. I never had to set it up. Of course, best practice is to actually give it a static IP. And you can see the AMS net ID here as well. It's 5.170.218.199.1.1. So 5.170.218.199.1.1. And I think that our port instance, this is also maybe my second time working with the TwinCAT software, so I'm not super well versed, but I believe our port instance is found up here. So this is port 851. From what I can tell, I may be mistaken. There may be another place where you can also see the ADS port. However, this is what we'll select in this demonstration. We'll click OK. Click OK once more. With some models, you can use get tag info, and that'll pull the tags right from the controller. However, I always recommend just to import tags via either the TPY file or another supported file type. So we'll select .tpy, TwinCAT3, because we're working with TwinCAT3. And I will go to Documents, TC XAE Shell. We'll find our project, TwinCAT project. And here's our project TPY file. I'm just going to click Open. We'll select All, and we'll import our tags. And you should get the tag imported successfully message. Now, let's add some objects. So to do that, we're going to go to the Object tab of our project. And because we have a few different object types, let's add a bit. So if we add a bit lamp, we can access our bit memory, or the bit memory within the controller. So that's why you can see X bit shows up, but within main we also have like sname and others, and num type. Sorry, a num, which num variable, which is integer type, but they don't show up here because it's not a bit type. So in that way, types or object types kind of dictate what tags you can select. It just helps you narrow and filter things. And then we can go to numeric, and we can find a num as well. Go to main, num. Find a num, I mean our variable num, of course. And then we'll go to ASCII, and let's find our string. So sname right here. And I think that there is 21 characters in this string, so we're going to actually set our element count to 21. And I'll set our encoding method to Unicode as well. And then we'll click OK. And with that said, let's go ahead and download this project to our HMI for testing. So I'll just go ahead and project, download. It's going to prompt us to save and compile the project. We'll just save our project as Beckhoff test. It's actually saving in the same directory as our PLC project. I don't know if that's going to be a particular issue. I don't imagine it will be, but we'll just keep it for now for simplicity. Could do the waiting dance or something. And we have connection, we have communication. We can see that our bit's on in our HMI project. And just by the way, I opened up WebView. All of our HMIs have, all of our CMTX series HMIs have a web server that has a web-based VNC, essentially a web-based VNC client that you can use to view the HMI screen in there. And so I can see the HMI's screen from here. We can see that our bit is on, and then we have the value of 5, which matches what we have within, what we've assigned within main. And then we see our full string as well. And, well, yeah, we'll just jump back here. So that about wraps it up for our Beckhoff communication tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them within the comments section below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.